mistakes or anything like that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
What do you do when you do Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya?
That's supposed to activate my.
You have to do it on your hand?
No, I don't know how.
On your thumb? Om.
Om.
Na. Mo. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So into each of your fingers and your palms.
Okay.
And you can't do any bad karma.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Great.
Oh, good.
Om
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Okay.
So you go down this way and then up this way? Or does it matter?
You're starting on the right hand.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Right, left.
Right.
So it's part of Narayan Kavach.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
So the word yoga, I know a lot of people have done yoga. The word yoga means union or a relationship. And so we're using yoga in this sense for the union between different planets or relationships between different planets. So in order to form a yoga, there has to be a relationship. Otherwise, there's no connection. And so then there's not going to be an interaction of the energy. Now, I don't understand this, just that this is information that was given, but yogas are ruled or governed by the Akash Tattva, so therefore they're governed by Vishnu. And Vishnu rules the Akash. But also,
you don't understand it.
Well, it's just a statement, so how do I apply that, though? That's what I don't understand.
No, just in general. Who rules the Akash Tattva?
Jupiter.
And when we look at Akash Tattva and Jupiter, what part of the Panchanga is ruled by Akash Tattva and Jupiter?
I don't remember.
The yoga.
Oh, that's right.
So when the yoga is not a good planet, what goes wrong in the person's life?
Oh, their Akash Tattva is not good.
Their Akash Tattva, and what's that do in the life?
So they don't get the knowledge or guidance or advice that they need.
More than that?
The good fortune is there, the Bhagya is not there.
More?
Well, the element that's holding their lives together is kind of like spotty.
Okay.
Kind of like,
right?
There's often a lot of fighting in the life.
Okay.
They're not getting along with people very well, because Akash is what brings people
together. Right. Okay.
So they're fighting with each other. They have issues with people in their life. They're that person that doesn't get along with anybody. It's not about like whether they don't, sometimes personalities clash. But then there's people who their personality clashes with everybody.
Right.
This is when the Akash Tattva is destroyed in the Panchanga.
Ah, okay.
Okay? When the yoga is not good.
Okay.
So that's how the person is relating to other people. So it's Akash that's showing how things are relating to each other.
Oh, so it's all about relationships.
It's all about relationships. Okay. So
Now I see.
So when we're talking about the relationship of planets to each other, it's the Akash Tattva between them. How well are they going to be related?
Right. Okay. So basically what it gets down to with the yogas is they're generally auspicious or they're inauspicious. And so you're going to make a determination of the yogas that you see in the chart, whether it's an auspicious yoga or an inauspicious yoga. And the yogas we're going to cover are yogas that will generally, these are like major yogas that are generally present either throughout your life or will fructify later in life. So there's tons and tons of other yogas that are not listed in here. For example, B.V. Raman has a book called 300 Important Combinations.
Those are just the important ones.
Right, exactly. And I didn't even cover any of those. We're just doing basic yogas. So just know that there's a lot more yogas than what's listed here. So one of the things you need to know is you can see someone has a great yoga in their chart, but is it going to fructify? So one of your questions you have to ask is, will the yoga fructify? And then if it will, when will it fructify? Because some yogas will fructify in the future. Some yogas are present throughout life. So you have to make that determination. So will the yoga fructify? There's a lot of writers or rules or cancellations of yogas. So one of the things you have to look at with the yogas is the strength of the planets involved. Are they exalted? Are they in Mula Katrona? Are they in their own sign? Is it debilitated? Is it in a bad house? That will change how the yoga will manifest. For example, there's a yoga in here where someone is going to be a driver of vehicles, right? So how good that yoga is will determine if they're going to be pulling a cart versus driving a nice car or flying an airplane type of thing. So, and also you need to look at the status of the planets in the Navamsa, because let's say you may have a terrific yoga or a planet, let's say in occultation in the Rasi, but in the Navamsa, if it's debilitated, that can destroy the yoga as well, or it won't manifest as strongly, or it'll manifest very weakly. So you have to look at all those factors. So what kind of relationships are there going to be involved? And we're going to talk about Sambandha. Sambandha means relationship. There are 4 main types of Sambandha. Oh, and by the way, this is all completely plagiarized. None of this is my work, so I've put down the references in here, so hopefully I've repeated the information correctly. So I give credit to everybody that's listed here in my references.
What did you say for the microphone?
So what are my references?
Yeah.
Okay. For the recording, I was listening to the Yoga's lecture by Sanjay Rath. This was given 26 November in New Delhi at the Atri class. There was a lecture on Pancha Mahapurusha Yogas by Sanjay Rath in February of 2006 at Atri class. Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, chapter 37. There was a paper done on the Basa Yogas by I always can't say his name right. Ramdas Rao. That was published in Jyotish Digest. Thank you very much. It was a very good paper. Varaha Mihira's Brihat Jataka, translated by Suranarayan Rao, chapter 12. What else do I have? In Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, there's a chapter on special combinations for wealth on Dana Yoga. And those are the references. I think that's everything. Okay. So Sambandhas. 4 types of Sambandhas. These are in order of strength. So the strongest relationship or Sambandha or yoga is a Purna Sambandha, and that means complete relationship. And an example of this is the Parivartana Yoga. So Parivartana can mean
grahas exchange houses. How does two planets exchange houses? I don't get it.
So if we look in a chart up here, if you pretend that Jupiter, let me try to see here. Actually, there's a good one up here, Ramana Maharishi. Okay. He has Saturn in Pisces, and then Jupiter in Aquarius.
Okay.
Saturn rules Aquarius, Jupiter rules Pisces.
Oh, okay.
So they've exchanged houses.
So they're in each other's houses.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha. All right.
It's like if you owned a house in Delhi, and you decided, okay, you'll come here and live in my house, and I'll go live in your house in Delhi.
Gotcha.
So we trade each other's houses. So if you're not good to my house, I'll be not good to your house.
Okay.
If I take really good care of your house, then you take really good, we're taking care of each other.
Okay.
We're intimately connected.
Gotcha.
If we were in each other's houses, we'd be calling each other every week, we'd be concerned about what we do. The Sambandha means that we have a very close connection to each other, because we've traded something very close to each other.
So is it like, in that case, is it like the 5th Lord is in the 5th and the 6th Lord is in the 6th?
It has to
Not
be
by
a
houses,
house
by
sign.
signs.
I'm sorry, I probably wrote it wrong then. That it has to be signs. I should have said when 2 grahas exchange signs.
Yeah, it's signs.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with the house lord?
The result will be based on the house lord,
Right.
but it's caused by the sign.
Right. Okay.
The sign causes it. Like, for example, this has nothing to do. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5th house and it's 6th house.
Right.
Has nothing for Ramana Maharshi's chart. Has nothing to do with his 6th lord or his 5th lord. It has to do with the fact that it's Jupiter and Saturn. But now when we look at the interpretation, the 5th lord and the 6th lord are in Parivartana.
Right.
So there's a very intense connection between the 5th and 6th house.
Right.
And we're going to be interpreting it like that. He didn't give mantras. Fifth Lord going to the sixth house, no mantras. Okay? Sixth Lord going to the fifth, it has to do with, it's called Sankhya Yoga. Has to do with getting realization through one's work. So it's about karma yoga and that kind of stuff. You know, intimate connection between those two houses. It's also,
So it doesn't necessarily, I mean, I'm wondering if it's like a good thing because...
It's not good or bad, it depends. Fifth and sixth house is not too bad. If it was fifth and eighth house, that would not be too good. Ninth house, like Gail has ninth and fifth, second and ninth house.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, it's good, yeah. But it's not being caused by the second and ninth house. It's being caused by Rahu and the moon sign and moon and Rahu sign.
So what I'm wondering is, I know when a Baba Lord affects its own Baba, it's good for the Baba. So is it the same thing, sort of like when they're exchanging like that?
Basically, it's sambandha. They're intimately connected to each other. It's as if you are, it's almost like a marriage. Whether the two people get along or not, whether it's good or bad, is another story. The bottom line is they're married. And in this case, they're married for life.
Right.
They're together and they're not separating. They're always going to be working together. They just, it's there.
Even if they disagree, they'll always be working
For better or worse.
So it's like a marriage.
Sickness and health, you know.
But it's not the graha, it's the rashi.
It's the
grahas.
The both,
Yeah.
Yogas are caused by grahas.
Right. Only grahas can have the yoga. Okay.
Yeah. Signs can't change signs.
Right.
The Lord of the sign has to change signs.
Right.
So there has to
But
be
it's
a
like
Lord.
the houses are married together.
That's the result. But what causes that?
Right.
The planets and signs is the cause. The houses being married is the result. Okay.
But the grahas are not necessarily...
They're interacting. Both the houses are interacting as well as the grahas. Without a doubt, it's as if there's a conjunction between those grahas.
So the grahas indicate the jivatman, so that jiva has to do with living beings, whereas the rashis, or the houses, have to do with the jadatman, and jadatman means non-living beings, so it's non-living things. So it can be your environment, but it's something that doesn't have like a sentience, so to speak. But if it's a chair, it's a non-living being, it still has an atma. So its atma is to be a chair and to be sat upon. And then once the chair is destroyed, its atma is destroyed. So the houses is just the environment. It's the non-living environment. Not to say that trees aren't living, but it's for the purposes of us doing astrology here. Okay, so the next strongest sambandha is the Yuti sambandha, where two graha are conjunct. And again, this is a lifetime connection. This will always fructify throughout the life of the chart.
You got that, Jane?
So now the next two yogas, the
I
I
Jane.
have a question.
Yeah.
Why would a parivartana be more powerful or hierarchically be before the conjunction? Or is it just arbitrary like that?
Because the, do you want to say that?
No, I don't know why.
Okay. The two planets conjunct, they are two people in the same house, and so they're working together because they're in the same place, but they can be disagreeing and fighting, and one can be active at one time and not the other, and one can be stronger at another time than not the other. There's more changeability of the connection, where parivartana, they're not changing. They're 100% linked. They're both holding each other's hand, you could almost say. Because they've changed signs, they're in each other's signs, they're totally like grasping each other. They have grahana on each other. Where in the same house, planets in the same house, tatkalika sambandha become enemies because they're fighting for position. They're fighting for which one is going to be in charge of that house. So one of them is going to be predominant and one of them is not going to be. Okay, they're not going to be giving even results between each other. Where the other Sambandha is giving, they both have something, if you don't keep your part of the deal, I don't keep my part of the deal. So it's making them give an equal amount to the situation.
Because they support, the Parivartana, the planets always support each other, whether it's positive or negative.
Yeah.
So they won't not support each other.
It's like, you go to war, I'll go with you. And so, where in America, we're UT in America. Some people can go to war and other people can be protesting. But if we look at two countries that have a pact, and they say, if you go to war, I'll support you. If you go to war, I'll support you. They go to war, the other country goes to war. It's this pact that they've made between each other. If one goes, the other one goes. That's the deal. Where in the country, we go to wars, everybody can, no, we're not going to go. They can protest the war. They cannot join the army. So we're looking at a different level in that way. Now, what is UT? Take either Meena or Jane as your subject, and just make sure that they understand each concept before we move on.
Okay.
So, Jane, UT. What's UT mean? Do you have any place where two planets are in the same sign?
Sure.
What do we got?
There are many, actually. Saturn and Jupiter are in Sagittarius.
So that's a UT.
Okay.
Okay? So that's our second level of Sambandha, relationship. And how much two planets can be affecting each other. Okay.
And do you have anything, Nina? In these two planets?
A lot. Yeah. There's a lot. I have in Aquarius, I have the Sun, Ketu, and Mercury. In Leo, I have Rahu, Jupiter, and Mars. I have a lot.
Wow.
A lot of people got that.
What?
That Rahu, Jupiter,
Rahu, Jupiter, and Mars.
Rahu, Jupiter, Mars.
Okay. So the next two, can I move on? The next two Sambandha is Drishti and Ardha Purna. Now these two Sambandhas, or these two yoga types, will only manifest in the future. And it'll manifest either during the natural age of the Graha, which we talked about last week, where, was it Mercury?
What is it first?
What?
Explain in depth.
The natural ages?
No, the Ardha Sambandha.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me go back to Drishti, then I'll start with that next. So Drishti Sambandha is when two Grahas aspect each other by Graha Drishti. It's not Rashi Drishti. And this is considered weak because it means by sight. And so it depends on the want or desire of the Graha to give a result. So it can see, say, the other Graha, but then it has to decide, how badly does it want to interact with that Graha. So, and then when it decides to do that, then that's when you have to figure out when is it going to activate, when's its desire going to activate.
How are we doing, Jay?
I'm kind of dating on here, but fine.
I guess I wasn't here the last class, and I tried to read over the notes, but I was a little confused, but I don't really know, the age of the Graha, so that makes this concept difficult for me to understand.
Right.
Natural ages was done in the Graha class.
Yeah, I had to leave early, that's why I missed it.
It's in the notes.
So, do you want to move on then?
Well, hold on, this first part. Was the mutual aspect means one planet's aspecting, like for example, if Saturn's aspecting Jupiter and Jupiter's aspecting Saturn. That's mutual aspect, and that creates a Sambandha, connection between the two. And then Ardha Drishti, Ardha Sambandha, is that what it is?
That's an Ardha Purna Sambandha.
Just Ardha, no Purna. Half full.
Half full, yeah.
Yeah, just Ardha. That would be it's like half complete. The half is when just one is aspect. And then,
Like Mars aspect into its eighth house,
yes.
there's a planet.
And the planet can't aspect back. So Mars cares about that planet, but the other planet doesn't care about Mars.
Oh, but specifically this Ardha Sambandha is supposed to be the planet, for example, my example
in the
here.
sign of.
Jupiter is in Aries again, but Mars happens to be in Virgo. So Mars is not in the sign of Jupiter, but it's throwing an aspect on Jupiter because of its Graha Drishti. So it's kind of a half aspect type of thing. So Jupiter went to the house of Mars, but Mars didn't go to the house of Jupiter, even though he's aspecting Jupiter. So Jupiter was able to complete his end of the bargain, but Mars didn't. So Mars, they have to wait till Mars reaches its either natural age or a Dasa period before Mars can complete his work with Jupiter. And then, for whatever reason, Sanjay said that he doesn't recommend gemstones for remedies for this type of yoga. And that I don't understand why, but it sounded important to put in there. So.
I'm not clear on what you mean by the work of. Jupiter went to the house of Mars, but Mars didn't make it to the house of Jupiter. Did you talk?
Well, okay, for Apurna Sambandha, for example, the Parivartana, both planets made the connection, right? They both went into each other's houses. They did what they agreed to do, okay? And this one, it's like they did the contract, but it didn't get complete. Okay, it wasn't filled completely. Jupiter fulfilled his end of the bargain, but Mars didn't.
So what I don't get is Jupiter's not connecting to Mars, but Mars is connecting to Jupiter, so it seems like it would be the other way around.
The Jupiter's in the sign of Mars. Jupiter went to Mars' house. Jupiter went and visited Mars in his house.
Right.
But Mars didn't go to visit Jupiter's house. Even though Mars is looking at his house, he's like, he wants to go, but he hasn't made it yet. So that's why this yoga won't be there throughout life. It'll fructify later on. So Mars, wants to go to Jupiter's house. He just hasn't done it yet.
I mean, looking across from Virgo?
At some point it'll be activated.
Yeah, it'll be activated.
Will one part of the aspect be activated? The part that
Remember with Eurus, it's only aspect.
I forget who's aspecting and
Right.
which Drishti, but if Mars is aspecting Jupiter, and like that piece will be active, and then the opposite, so Jupiter is aspecting Mars, and then when Mars matures, then that'll become active.
Right.
So the first part of it already present throughout.
Well, yeah, because Jupiter is in Aries, so you'll have that effect already. But to have the effect between the two planets, of Jupiter and Mars together, that's not going to happen until later in life, whenever that period comes up. So I forgot what the natural age of Mars is. It's
28?
28. So maybe at 28 something happens, or during the Sadasha of Mars something will happen. So.
Both. Generally both.
Oh, really? Both will happen? Okay.
Generally, I predict both, and it's correct.
Okay. Let's go to the next page. So the first major yoga that Sanjay talked about that was important was what he called the Lakshmi Narayana yoga. And this occurs when the Lord of a Kendra is with the Lord of Trikona. So Kendras are 1, 4, 7, and 10 houses, and the Trikonas are 1, 5, and 9. Actually, it's just 5 and 9 because you've got the Kendra already involved in the first section of the yoga. And so Kendras are called Sri Vishnu Sthana. Vishnu is sustaining. So the Kendras are what sustains the chart or sustains the life of the individual. And then Trikonas are called Lakshmi Sthana, and so Lakshmi brings in wealth. So when you have a wealth house connected with a Kendra house, then that gives you good fortune or gives you wealth to sustain you throughout this life. If you don't have that connection, then that can create difficulties in having the resources needed to fulfill your desires in this life. So, whatever it is that you came here to do. So, the first example he gave, which has a name that I know, is Dharma Karma Adipati, which is the 9th Lord with the 10th Lord. And Sanjay said that this is one of the best yogas to have. You get the blessings of what he said was Ma Shakti. I don't understand Ma Shakti very much, but he said this is the most auspicious yoga in Jyotish because your karma will always follow the path of Dharma, which is the highest spiritual path that you would want to go for. So they'll get karma through their bhagya, through their good fortune, which is the 9th house bhagya. They'll be able to do their work that they came here to do.
So this occurs if there's one of the yogas on the previous page occurs joining the 9th and the 10th house in some way.
Exactly.
Okay.
The next one is the seventh lord with the Trikona lord. And so you have the seventh lord, you get the blessings of Lord Shiva, and here you do work for the welfare of the world. And this native, the native strives to get knowledge of the religions of the world, and he studies the religions thoroughly. He wants all the knowledge. He'll never be satisfied with only one religion till he is to God.
Okay, so and this is seventh with the first, fifth, or ninth house.
Seventh with the first, fifth, or ninth. Is it really the first, fifth, or ninth? Because I was actually getting confused. This is the question I had.
Okay.
Is it only fifth and ninth, or is it first, fifth, and ninth?
First is both.
Okay.
Akendra, and that's why the Lagnesh is such an
a big
important
thing,
planet.
right?
He's both a Kendra Lord and Kona Lord.
Okay. And this creates a very broad-minded person. And so I'm not going to read through all the descriptions because you can read through that later.
Is Dharma Karma Adipati Yoga just the ninth and Lord Sambandhana, or could it be like the fourth and fifth? And
He's specifically ninth and tenth Lord.
Well,
no, there's a rider.
Look. Dharma.
Mm-hmm.
What's the house of Dharma?
fifth.
Ninth.
Ninth
house.
Ninth house.
Ninth house is the house of Dharma.
Dharma's the ninth house.
Isn't it 1, 5, and 9?
But the primary Dharma, the house of Dharma.
Okay.
Not the Dharma shrine, but the Dharma house.
Okay.
When I say one house of Dharma.
Okay.
Okay? Then it's the ninth house. What's the house of Karma?
10.
So Dharma Karma. So ninth house Dharma, 10th house Karma. Now it's Adi. Adi means etc. Pati means Lord. So if it was Dharma Karma Pati Yoga, that's just the yoga of the 10th and the 9th. Okay? So Dharma Karma Adi means the 10th and the 9th, etc. Okay, so it's kind of meaning, it's kind of saying that the 10th and the 9th Lord conjunct, or the other shrines and konas connected. So we can call them all Dharma Karma Adipati Yoga.
These are the most powerful.
No, it's not. Well, this is one of the most beneficial for prosperity in the world. But they're all Dharma Karma Adipati Yogas, but this one is particular Dharma Karma Pati Yoga. The Adi is an etc. for the general concept.
Okay.
So it could be the ninth Lord and it could be a fifth Lord and the 10th Lord, or it could be the first Lord and the 10th Lord.
Yeah, fifth Lord, if we wanted to, we could say is Putra Karma Pati Yoga.
Okay. So in this lecture by Sanjay, he gave the configurations based on the Kendra Lord first and what the results would be. So we talked about the 7th Lord with the Trikona, and then the 4th Lord with the Trikona Lord, you get the blessings of Lord Vishnu. And so he said that with this type of yoga, your person gets a very pure heart. And so he said that the mantra starts residing in the heart of that person. And so we talked about this by Skype, and so what it is that you just have so much love for everyone. It's like sound is mantra is sitting in the heart is love. So you have this person with love emanating from them. They're just very open-hearted. They care about everybody. Very compassionate.
But look just at the basic houses. Which house is the heart?
The 4th house.
And the house of mantra.
Is the 5th house.
So.
First Lord with the Trikona Lord, you get the blessings of Surya, because that's the Lagnesh, and the Lagnesh is the natural ruler of your Lagna. And then he didn't give very much information on this, so I don't have anything else on this. So he always recommends the worship of Surya for people with the First Lord with the Trikona Lord. So now what I'd like to do as the next step here is to have you,
Are you looking at Rahu and Ketu as being Lord?
Yeah.
No.
Lord?
You can.
Oh, you do on this one?
You can. It's going to be primarily the 7 grahas.
Okay.
But Rahu and Ketu can do side steps, yeah.
Okay. So let's look at your charts now and look and see if you have any of these Lakshmi Narayana yogas in your chart. So if it's easier, start with the Kendras and look to the ruler and see who the ruler is with. And we still have a lot of yogas to go through, so if you don't have one, that's okay, don't worry about it.
What if it's the same planet, like the fourth lord and Trikona lord? Wait, first, fifth, alright. So for me that's Mars.
So what do you have then?
The fourth lord is Mars.
Okay.
Leo like that.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, Leo London. Fourth lord is Mars,
Uh-huh.
Scorpio, and then the ninth lord is Mars, and it's in the first.
That becomes a yoga karaka, doesn't it?
That's right.
So I didn't talk about yoga karaka, but you have that yoga then.
Is that
naturally?
The same one as that?
It's naturally, all Leo
Yeah.
people, Mars is naturally giving that energy.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether Mars is in a Trikona.
If it's in Kendra Trikona, then it's much better.
Stronger, yeah.
But it becomes a planet that can give more effect because of that.
If the fifth lord, I'm looking at the third one, instead of the fourth lord, it was the fifth lord aspecting the fourth lord.
Mhm.
See what I mean? Would that be a Lord Vishnu
Mhm.
blessing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but because it's aspect, just we gave those 4 things in the beginning. But if they were Parivartana, then it'd be incredibly a strong blessing. 100% given. If they're just conjunct, then it's strong. It won't, sometimes there'll be some cracks in it, but it'll be strong. If it's, if there's, and so we go down the list. If it's just aspecting each other, then it will give effects during the right dashas. You'll have that yoga's effect during the dasha of that planet that's aspecting. But when it's not aspecting, you won't get that yoga. You won't get the effect of that. So there's gradations on all of this.
So the first 2 are dasha dependent. I mean the second 2, 3 and 4.
Yeah. Anything that's based on graha drishti is dasha dependent.
Okay.
Anything.
So then,
Anything that the rule says by aspect.
So the UC one isn't applicable to any of these.
UT would, yes,
Mhm.
of course.
But
That's the primary. That's your primary.
But isn't that just when planets are in the same house?
Yeah, but the thing is, they should be a Kendra Lord and a Trikona Lord in the same house. A Lord of angles and a Lord of,
Yeah,
of
actually,
trine.
I was going off of his question.
Okay, so
Like this is our Kendras, right? These 4 houses,
Okay.
and these are our trines, right?
Okay.
So if this is ruled by Venus,
Uh-huh.
this is ruled by Saturn. If Venus and Saturn were together, in the same house, that would be the yoga. But they're not. If we look, so here's Saturn. Is Saturn with any one of these? Saturn is not with Venus. He's not with Mercury. So Saturn's not causing it. If we see another Kendra Lord is Mars. Is Mars with Saturn? No. So we look in this way. Which planets are conjunct, causing that?
Okay.
UT, you can say conjunct.
So, another way you can do it is just look at the conjunct planets in your chart, look to where they rule. Look at what they're the lord of, and if they are the lord of either a Kendra or Trikona, then you've got. And if they're in a, are you looking at placement of them?
We're just looking to see if there's a sambandha between them, but we're not going to interpret. Well, let's walk through everybody's charts then. So, Ajaya, what do you have?
I got 9th Lord in the 10th house, and it's aspected by Jupiter in the 6th.
Okay.
So
then it seems that with the 6th Lord, you're going to have little obstacles around the fructification of that yoga, but it'll probably fructify during your Jupiter dasa, or maybe there was a major change.
It'll give results.
Yeah.
it'll give results. So Jupiter is Lord of the Lagna as well as the 10th house.
That's really good.
So is that? So should
It
I?
always will be.
Yeah.
Whenever Jupiter's Lagna, it's always going to be.
Oh, right. So then, what about this? Mercury and Ketu together.
Lords of which houses?
That would be Lord of the 4th and Lord of the 9th.
That's good.
There you go.
Wouldn't it be 4 and 7?
Or 4 and 7.
4 and 7.
Mercury's Badakesh.
4-7 doesn't count.
4-7 doesn't count?
It's
Mercury's
two
Lord of
kendras.
the fourth and the seventh.
What's that? Two
Two
kendras?
kendras.
Right,
You want
that's
a
right.
kendra and a trikona.
Oh, a kendra and a trikona.
Trikona.
Well, Ketu is associated with the 9th house, Scorpio.
Yeah, but you want the sambandha.
They're together in 8.
Who and who?
Mercury and Ketu.
And Mercury is Lord of
The 7th and the 4th.
the 7th and the...
Okay, right,
Where's
7th and
Kendra?
4th,
Okay,
right.
so 7th and 4th, kendra.
And K2 is associated with
Lord
Scorpio, 9th
Okay.
house.
9th house. Okay.
Okay, and it's sitting in the 8th,
So in the 8th house.
right. So it says it gives you the pure heart.
Okay.
Would you say that? Because you seem to be a very open-hearted person.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, I do what I can, not kill people.
So we all must have pure hearts.
But last night, no.
Okay.
Okay, and then what about you, Sam?
I also, like Ajaya, have the 9th Lord and the 10th, and it's got a Drishti Sambandhana with the Lord of the 5th and 10th.
And which planet?
Jupiter and Mars.
Okay. And what houses?
So that would mean, okay, 4th and 10th.
4th and 10th.
So I got Mars in the 4th, Jupiter in the 10th. Mars is the Lord of the 5th, so it's the 5th Lord aspecting the 9th and the 10th house. And the 5th and the 10th Lord aspecting the 9th in the 10th house. Mars in the 4th, Jupiter's in the 10th.
So it's a week.
Yeah.
Lakshmi
So that would
Friday.
mean it would fructify in my Mars period,
The planet's that.
or when I turn 28.
They'll be both.
16 as well, because Jupiter matures.
Generally, the Nasarika, the natural maturity, when that happens, the planet has some signification that it's giving you in the chart. Like, for example, you just look at a chart and you're like, oh, this planet's going to give this. By Drishti, it's not going to be as powerful. Drishti is going to be more the dasha. If it was actually Yuti, then the natural age would be more, would give both. Because the natural age, like for example, Mercury in the 4th house, the person might get land or get an start going to school at the maturity of 32. If Mars is in the 5th house, at Mars maturity, the person might invest in property. In house of investment, Mars, property. If Venus is in the 4th house, the house of vehicles, Venus is vehicles, at Venus maturity, the person might get a new car. So, like, whatever it's naturally indicating in the chart, at its natural age it shows. Okay?
That isn't dasha dependent?
Nasarika dasha is not dasha dependent. Now, aspects are dasha dependent.
Okay.
So that means only during the dasha are you getting that result.
Okay.
Because what is dasha, Vimshotri dasha based on? The moon. And the moon is where desire comes from. Graha Drishti is about the desire of the planet. Okay?
So Jupiter and Mars periods would be strong periods for this to come out.
Yeah.
So what happened when you were 28, though?
I got a black belt when I was 28. I started my bodybuilding career right after that.
Right, you're
Mars
very
is
successful
what
at that.
Huh?
Mars is what house?
4th, 5th Lord, 5th and 10th Lord and 4th. But I was in Jupiter Dasha, so yeah, I had a lot of energy in those days. I had a lot of fiery energy.
And your name is Karen? Marcia, I'm sorry. And so what about your chart?
Well, I have Scorpio Line. So Jupiter is in the 4th with Mars and Moon in the 10th. So it creates a whole bunch of different yogas that are mainly the Graha Drishti.
The Lugna on the house is, can you say? We just said the planet.
Lugna,
It's like the
Scorpio.
opposite of what I
Scorpio,
have.
Lugna.
Jupiter in Aquarius,
Uh-huh.
and Mars and Moon in Leo.
Mm-hmm.
So Mars and the Moon are one
You have,
in the sense.
you have the nine?
Lagna Lord
She has
with
all
the
three.
ninth Lord.
Okay.
All three Dharma lords in the 10th house.
Well,
Is that
all
right?
three,
they're
all three Dharma Lords are aspecting each other.
And they're in the 10th house? They're in Leo?
2 are in the 10th, and 1 is in the 4th.
All right, okay.
Okay, so if we just do Moon and Mars, the first, like, a simple Lakshmi Narayana yoga, then
One of
so
them.
you have the Kendra Lord, which is the first Lord, with the ninth Lord. So that gives the blessings of Surya. Do you know what that does, the first Lord with the Trikona Lord?
Surya's creative resources. The strength and energy to accomplish things.
Okay.
So if you count Ketu, the Ketu's of Saturn, and that's the first Lord with the 4th Lord. Kind of
It's a weak one.
ugly.
Okay.
In general, the Lugna Lord is considered a Kendra Lord primarily, and Trikona Lord secondarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you tend to have a lot of energy to accomplish what you want?
Yeah. There's really the thing of finding what I want, you know.
The perennial surge.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call myself overly ambitious.
It's not about ambition, it's about the,
Having the energy to
ability
do what you want.
Once I
The
figure out what I
resources.
want, it always will, definitely will always.
And
Okay.
that's
That's it.
what's called it.
Yeah. So the trying to decide those are different issues.
Yeah, that's a whole different
Yeah.
situation.
Okay.
Different
Mina?
I don't know. I still don't know how to calculate
Okay,
it.
so let's look at your Lugna Lord.
Your Lugna is what?
Do we have our chart? Do we have our
No,
chart
I
on
have
the
it
handout?
here.
I printed out, but I didn't make
Yeah,
copies.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to make copies.
You can write it down.
Okay, we can write it down if you tell us.
Just tell us.
Yeah, the ascendant is, or the Lugna is Scorpio,
Okay.
and the whatchamacallit chart, the 4th house is, Aquarius, with,
Oh, yeah.
with Sun, Ketu, and Mercury.
Say that one more time. Sun.
Sun, Ketu, and Mercury. And the 7th house is Taurus, is 2, and the 10th house is...
What's
Are there
in
any
Taurus?
planets in there?
There's no planet.
Okay.
And the 10th house is Leo, and it's Rahu, Jupiter, and Mars. And the 5th house is Pisces. The 6th house is...
Give us just all the planets.
Oh, okay. The 6th house has Venus.
Okay.
And the other ones have planets. The 11th house has Saturn. And I think that's all the planets, right?
Okay.
11.
Okay, so
Missing one. Moon.
Oh, the moon. Is that just M-O on the chart?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's also in the 11th house.
With Saturn?
Yeah.
Kalika Yoga.
Kalike?
Kalika.
what does that mean?
Kali. Kali
Oh,
Yoga.
Kali.
When Saturn and Moon are together, it's always a Kali Yoga?
Yeah. That's just what it's called.
So she has first Lord with the 5th Lord. Mars, Lord of the Lugna,
So
with Jupiter, Lord of the 5th house.
And Jupiter,
Yeah, 1 and 4.
So that's
Oh,
very
and
nice.
that's
And
okay.
it's sitting in the 10th house.
Nice.
She's also got the 4th and 9th Lord together.
there you go.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Do you have any others?
4 and 9 in the 11th.
Jupiter. Moon.
Moon, 9th Lord.
Moon is ninth Lord with
With
4th
Saturn,
Lord.
the 4th
Yeah,
Lord.
4th Lord.
Oh.
So you have 2.
That's
Yeah.
very nice.
So what, I don't really understand.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So-
I'm sorry, I'm slow.
No, it's fine. So this is our trines, right?
Yep.
1,
2, and then
5,
1, 5.
9.
1, 5, 9. Got it. And then the 4 in the middle are the Kendra. Is the Kendra.
Of the
That's
Kendra.
the Surya.
Okay. So the Lord of Scorpio primarily is
Uh-huh.
Mars.
Okay.
Okay. Is Mars you see with this is it conjunct because this is both a trine and the Kendra.
Okay.
So is Mars conjunct any one of these or any of these?
Yes.
The Lord.
It is in the 10th house.
It's conjunct the Lord of the 5th.
And that's because the...
It's not the house it's in. It's the Lord of the house.
Oh, okay. And the Lord of the 5th house...
Is Jupiter. So it's with the Lord of the 5th.
Wait, the Lord of the 5th...
Is Jupiter. Pisces.
Wait, I have... I'm sorry.
Your 5th house is Pisces.
Yeah, 5th house is Pisces, yeah.
So Jupiter's the 5th Lord.
Oh, okay.
So
Jupiter
1st and
is-
5th Lord are conjunct.
Okay.
There. Now if we look at the next Kendra, we see Saturn.
Okay.
So because it's Kendra, it has to be conjunct 5th Lord, 9th Lord, or 1st Lord.
Okay, so Kendras only go at Trichonas and...
And
And
Konas only go
okay.
with, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
one more time.
Kendras
Yeah.
with Konas, Konas with Kendras.
Okay.
Either or.
Okay.
So if we look at this, it's a Kendra. I know the first Lord is a little confusing. But if we look at the 4th house, then it has to be, to create a Lakshmi Narayan Yoga, has to be either with the Lagna Lord, 5th Lord, or 9th Lord. Okay, so it's Saturn. So it means it needs to either be with Mars, Lord of the Lagna, 5th Lord, Jupiter, or 9th Lord, Moon. Is Saturn with one of them?
No.
Ninth one.
Oh, wait, it's...
Yeah.
Saturn's
it's-
with the 9th Lord.
But it's with... Okay.
So
Because-
Saturn is with the 9th Lord. So there you go, another one. Now if we go to the 7th house, so this is why it's given in each of the Kendras. So it's Venus. That means Venus has to be conjunct either the Moon, 9th Lord, Lagna Lord, Mars, or 5th Lord, Jupiter. It's not with anybody.
Okay.
Okay? So no Yuti
Okay.
being created. Is it aspected by one of them? Not by Moon?
By Mars.
By Mars?
Mm-hmm. 8th house aspect.
No, that's the 5th house.
What's Jupiter aspect?
It's in the 6th.
Oh, so Jupiter's a trine Lord and it's aspecting Venus.
So it's by aspect. So during Jupiter Dasha, you'll get some effect. But not in general.
Okay.
Okay. There won't be anything in general from Jupiter.
Okay.
Only when the Dasha comes. Then we look at Sun. So Sun is 10th Lord. Is it conjunct the 9th Lord Moon?
Mm-mm.
Is it conjunct the 5th Lord Jupiter? There's your Sun. Is it conjunct your 1st Lord Mars? But Ketu's also the Lord of that. So it is a slight nodal Lakshmi Narayan.
Okay.
Look at that chart.
Yeah.
She was born after eclipse, or around the eclipse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just after.
Understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you talk a little bit more about the dasha dependent, when the dasha manifests?
So let's take your chart again. So with Mars and Moon, so during either the dasha of Moon or Mars, or during the sub period of Moon or Mars, and it doesn't have to be like
But he was saying that Mars is aspecting it by a glance, by a drishti. So
right.
Jupiter. Jupiter.
Sorry, yeah, it's Jupiter. So
So
it would be Jupiter. So if there's a graha aspect,
Mm-hmm.
then it will aspect them during.
Parivarsana is the primary.